prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy prophet, Jurali on me. First, all rise, giving perfect and infinite praises to Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Infinite honors. Honors to the divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. The Jesus returned, who was Prophet Noble Drew Ali, his forerunner, the John the Baptist return, Brother Marcus Messiah Garvey Bey. Honors to the founder, Prophet Drew Ali, the prophet of the Moorish Science of America. Honors to his forerunner of the movement, Marcus Messiah Garvey Bey, UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association. Honors to everything that's Moorish, not leaving anything out. Honors to the Moorish children. Honors to the fathers and mothers who paved the way for their sons and daughters to be leaders of the Moorish Science of America. We're doing step 2 is Love Yourself. Part 2. Everything that I was saying on the previous show, that the education of love has to be taught with being obedient to your mother, father, aunties and uncles and elders. And once you understand of how to treat people, then you can reflect on those morals that you were taught from the time you start talking, that doesn't always fit the narrative of what society teaches us, because society teaches that love is something of the carnal and it has to be physical. If you love me, you'll give me money. I can't fathom, or I can't, how do you say it? I can't be the one to disrespect people who think those thoughts, but I can't disagree with them. At the end of the day, when you realize how you tend to look at things a lot differently than what you have been indoctrinated with these teachings in school, religion, or whatever the case may be. I'm not here to pinpoint on one's religion and saying that is the cause of certain people acting out. The cause of acting out is self-hatredism that we all face on a daily basis. It just so happens one group of people happen to experience far more worse than others, especially the ones who are in power. When we understand our conditions and when we understand our situations, we tend to lose focus on what reality may be. But reality could be this fictitious thing that we see on TV, and life itself is not scripted. Anything on TV pretty much is almost scripted, at least like 80-90% of it. But when you understand that life itself is not based upon a script, or you have to do some type of role play, or whatever the case may be, you tend to lose sight on reality itself. But nevertheless, everything goes back to your morals, your upbringing, what you were taught. These things that you might agree with as a child growing up, but may not agree with as you grow and mature in age. These are the things that have to constantly be pondered on a daily basis. Does it sound right? of what was being said to me? Does this sound sufficient? Am I getting the best advice? And talking to other people who are very wise in age, even though they doubt it often as the wise do, as it says in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science of America, Circle 7 pamphlet, to give you clarity on this type of European of indoctrination. But at the end of the day, it serves no purpose for you to be a follower but not study to show yourself approved but be able to lead. If you have no desire to lead but just be a follower, then you're going to fall for the okie doke, because you have no foundation of truth to stand on. And when you don't have any truth or foundation to stand on, then I guess that means that you're going to be, as I said in the previous shows, you're going to be like one of them nematodes from SpongeBob. If the leader says we're hungry, we're hungry. If the leader says we're thirsty, we're thirsty. If the leader says we're tired, we're tired. So where do you function in the capacity of having someone else do the thinking for you, and you are a slave to their way of thinking to the point where you even lose yourself because you want to get along with the free along. You want to get along with your so-called friends, but you hate their guts. But at the end of the day, where do you lose yourself? Where do you win? See, family, these things in life, we tend to really lose sight because we're not walking by faith. We ignore what our first mind, which is the higher self, tells us. We follow the second mind, which is the lower self. And since these things are true, then we ourselves individually can come to an understanding that sometimes in life we're going to meet people who are going to agree with us, and then there's times in life we're going to meet people who disagree with us. But the long as we have a strong understanding and love for ourselves, then we can never follow something that's based upon indoctrination. But when we see how people can be fickle and act like they're your friend and quick to do you some harm at the end of the day or night, depending on the situation, and once you see how crazy and insane and evil people can be, then that determines on whether you want to be their friend or not. I mean, let's call the facts what it is. I'm pretty sure there's people who are listening to this live show presented by your brother man Moorish Life. We really got to understand people in order to understand life. Because life throws you at things like people throw things at you. But I know certain things that life can throw at you is very unwelcoming. But this is something which you have to do in life to understand your place. And what I mean by understanding your place is where you are in your life, and your place of understanding is how do you approach the situation, thinking before you react or respond. There's nothing in life precious than reproducing yourself and reproducing the better version of yourself while you're in the midst of a hard time in life. Because life is not short. Life is going to keep going without you. Whether you're a vegetable or under Doctors care, whether you're doing something about it, whether you're not doing something about it. Life is going to put some things on you where you're going to have to stop and pay attention to it. I mean, all honest, that's how life is. When you understand people and the behavior of people, you understand life itself. There would no be point of trying to, as my teacher said, get bent out of shape, or you lose your thoughts, but you go into your ego. Once you go into your ego, you have completely lost your way, because there's no point of trying to do better if you can't do better for yourself. You've always wanted a handout, but can never accept the truth that you have to want help in order to get help. Loving yourself is very valid. I mean, we gotta sit here and make a decision, because life is based upon a chess game. What move we want to make? Do we know how to play chess? The game of chess, as I said before, tells you a lot about life and people. That whatever's on the other side is on the other side. Whatever's on this side is great. So with that being said, the first thing in order to start loving yourself is dieting. The company you keep, who you hang around. Family you keep, who you hang around. Everything in life is bounded by cords by every other living thing. But you can't expect to do harm to somebody else and not have it the same justice being referred to you. There are things that we have to constantly think about from time to time. So when we start jumping on the bandwagon with all people who want to jump out of the burning building with no parachute, well, you have just marked your life as an end to life. There's nothing wrong with a grown man crying. It don't make him less of a sissy. It just means that he's in pain. He has no other way of getting that pain out, and the pain is hurting him, where it's stressing him out, where stress kills. So I'm about to end this live chat. Might come over part 3. Well, definitely will come over part 3. Alright, y'all. Peace and love. Peace and love. I'm going to close out with the Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, to His holy prophet. Amen.